Welcome back to The Person Everyone Needs. I'm your host, Webb Hockard, and today I want to talk to you about our final installment of a strategy for winning at life. The first week, I encouraged you to dream big, write down your dreams, make it plain so that you know exactly the direction that you're running after. A direction, not intention, determines your destination. Okay, so it's very important that you know what direction you're going every single day, that you're working toward those things with all of your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to break those things down into easy-to-eat bites. It reminds me of when I was in college, there was this book that was talking about how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Okay, so you need to break it down to what is the bite-sized chunk I can handle today. And then know that as you get those bite-sized chunks and the right amount, and every day you're working toward them, you'll find that you'll catch some momentum and begin to build in the right direction. And so give yourself the grace that the first few times you do it, you're not going to enjoy it very much. You're just learning about things. But keep doing them over and over again, and you'll finally get some momentum. You might even get really good at the things that you're wanting to accomplish. And so that's when you start really seeing some great things come to pass. Now, how do you win or lose well? Okay. Now, I am a driven person. I care about excellence. I don't like to lose. I don't ever want to lose, and I don't want anybody around me who wants to lose. People who are okay with losing are not okay with me. But as I have continued in my life, I have found that in order to be better at being a person, I actually need to find a better way of losing. Pouting is not good. Crying, obviously, not a great look on a man, a fully grown man, after a loss. Getting angry, getting mad, having to be alone, pouting, all these things is just not a good look. However, I still do it because I hate to lose. I still hate to lose. How about winning? What is the right way to win? Well, I've noticed recently I was playing a game with my sons, and I had two boys. Well, all the boys were playing against me, and it was baseball, and they ended up winning the game. So on the way home, my son keeps going over and over again. He said, "Man, I never thought I would ever strike you out. Oh, my goodness. I never thought we would beat you. It's crazy. We played against these two adults, and we won. You know what? It's just, what's really fun about this?" He said, this is what he said. He said, what's really amazing about this is that was so much fun because there was nobody trash talking. This kid had been talking absolute garbage about how bad I must have played so that he could win, and then had the audacity to say, "Isn't it great that nobody did any trash talk?" What does he think he's doing? We don't know what we're doing sometimes like that. I'm not saying he was malicious in his intent. I will say it annoyed me, but I don't think he was trying to annoy me. So what am I getting at? How do we lose better when we don't pout, and how do we win better so that we're not cocky and in your face? Well, I think it could be summed up in the word grace. I don't mean for you to be smiling after you lose. There's no room for that. Losing is embarrassing. Losing is hard. Losing is a reminder that you could have worked harder, that somebody must have failed, or in some way that things didn't happen the way they ought to. So in no way should we be jolly that we have fallen short. Secondly, we also should not be chest thumpers. In your face, I'm better than you because I beat you in this particular moment. We have to be careful to keep that on guard as well. So what would look like grace? What would it look like to have grace? And I know I'm talking about a sports thing, so let's take it into another area before we start trying to nail down what this would look like. How about when the people you went to school with, you pay attention to financially, you're doing better off than they are? How do you act when you're in that type of circumstance where you realize that perhaps your marriage is healthier than theirs, perhaps your kids are doing better, perhaps financially, or what if you find yourself in the other place? You think to yourself, "My Lord, I haven't even started on college loans or whatever. Like, I need to get started on putting that money aside. I haven't even told my kids how to, pray the Our Father." You start to shame yourself when you compare yourself to others. So let's talk about life for a second. In our own lives, sometimes we don't like to lose, and we're not very gracious in how we win. And so what we end up doing is we end up just shutting our mouth about everything and never processing it, never giving God the proper amount of glory for the fact that he's led us and helped us and built us up. And then by doing that, we eventually forget ourselves because we stop meditating on it. So how do we win? How do we lose? Well, I think one of the best ways to win well is, number one, encourage those that are losing. High five. It was fun. Thanks for playing. Be careful with your tone on all those words, okay? But go to them and say what a joy it was to play the game. Secondly, when people say, man, you were on fire today, do what you can to build up the rest of the team. You know, if you're playing basketball, you need to point to the people who passed you the ball. If you're playing baseball, you know, you got to talk about what other people have done around you. So it's really good to build up the other team around you during those moments. The third thing probably in winning that's really good to do is just take a moment, recognize where everybody else is. I mean, celebrate. It's fine to celebrate, you know, pump your fists and say, yeah, whatever, like get excited about those things, but you know, don't make it about we beat you. Make it about we won. That's the tone that you want to have. You want to celebrate, and that's the right thing to do. It's the same thing in winning in life. Do what you can to tell those who aren't winning, you know, I'm for you. I believe in you. You know, I want to encourage you. What a joy it is to be in this life together. It doesn't matter where we're at on this level. Then secondly, do what you can to give glory to those around you. Say, you know, for myself, whenever I talk about our financial, the positives in our life, wherever, you know, comparative, wherever you want to think, I often give a lot of credit to my wife. My wife has been very helpful. That I've seen some other families where the wife wasn't helpful in helping with financial health. And so I'm very thankful for her. I'm also very thankful for her and my physical health. She's helped me make huge strides. So if anybody ever mentions those things, I get to deflect there. Secondly, I get to deflect to my parents. I have been abundantly blessed in my life to have a great team of people around me. If it has to do with my career, I point to my staff. If it has to do with and then if anybody just says, no, Webb, I'm talking about you, then I have to give glory to God. I always do what I can, not to deflect. I'm not deflecting. I'm not saying not me. I just like to say I didn't get here alone. This success was not because of just me. So the first thing you want to do is those that are not doing as well as you are, or those who lost, you want to just be encouraging to them, thank them. You know, as most ball games end, you shake people's hands. Hey, I saw you doing good out there. You're doing a great job. Keep it up or whatever. Secondly, you want to do all that you can to give as much praise to those around you. And then the third thing, when you celebrate, make it about the joy that you have and not pointing at others. Okay, and these kind of similar go to losing. Let's go to the losing side for a second. When you lose, do what you can to build up those around you. Your team is hurting just like you are, so don't make it about yourself. Don't jump into crying or self-pity. But do what you can to say, hey, we're going to get them next time. Hey, you did a good job. You helped. Turn to your own team and say, we're going to be okay. We're going to make this. Be strong. Be courageous. Be willing to bear with one another and not just be mad that you lost. The second thing you want to do is that when you have to face this other team, congratulate them. Proud of you. Hey, you guys, you were the better team tonight. Y'all did a great job. Way to go. You were really on fire today. I'm glad to see it. Be genuinely positive about those things. And then the third thing is take some time alone. If you need to break down, find a way to get away and break down. There's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with pouting. It's when we make it everybody else's problem. That's where the issue is. I don't want to pout in such a way that other people feel like they have to come after me. I need to get alone for a second and break down. So I'll tell you, playing basketball for years, my very last game, we ended up losing my very last game, and I'll never forget the feeling of going into that locker room in high school, and when we walked in, it hit us all that was the last time we'd ever play a game like that. And we began to cry. We began to weep. One guy punched a chair, and another guy just kind of he kind of put his nose in the corner of the room and just changed his clothes, crying, and left. We were dealing with it differently, but the truth was we were overwhelmed with emotions, and that's okay. But we did it in the locker room. We didn't do it on the court in front of other people. We didn't make a spectacle out of it. We didn't ask for more attention than what was necessary. We were overwhelmed with emotion. We were hurt, but we took it somewhere else. So how do we live with grace? When we're with other people, when we're before other people, no matter what, we build them up. We encourage them. When they say that we're doing well or they're blessing us, we do everything we can to build up those around us, because listen, in the same way that if you succeed, you will never get there alone, is the same thing as when you lose. You do not lose alone. That's why, as I told you in the last episode, you need to do all that you can to build a bridge before you need it. Build up the relationships around you so that in the moments that you need it most, you'll be in good shape. So that's my encouragement to you, is how to win and lose well. The person that everyone needs is someone who, even in the big wins, finds a way to involve everyone around them, and even in the losses, doesn't allow their issues to become others, but they constantly are doing all they can to learn from the losses, to get more understanding, to get confidence, and to trust that the future is going to be better than the past. They never let go of hope. That's what winners do. They never let go of hope. People who never let go of hope, that's a person that everyone needs.